The man everyone in the city feared for his sharp words and colder silence sat alone at a corner table, staring at a plate he hadn't touched. Outside, rain slid down the cafe window like quiet tears. Inside, the air smelled of roasted coffee and warm bread, but nothing warmed his chest. If you've ever felt successful yet painfully alone, stay with this story until the very end, and if it touches your heart even a little, remember to like this video and subscribe, because stories like this change lives. Adrian Cole was a CEO whose name filled business magazines and billboards. He owned buildings he never entered and companies he barely remembered founding. Money followed him like a shadow, but people didn't. His phone buzzed constantly, yet no message ever asked how he was. That night, he had walked into the small cafe to escape the echo of his empty penthouse, telling himself it was just dinner, nothing more. That's when he noticed them. A woman and 2 children stood near the door, soaked from the rain, clothes worn thin by too many winters. The little boy clutched his sister's hand, and the girl held a small, torn backpack to her chest like it contained her entire world. They weren't begging. They were waiting, uncertain, whispering to each other. The cafe owner approached them with an apologetic look, already shaking his head. Adrian felt something twist inside him, an irritation at first, then something deeper he didn't want to name. He waved the owner over and spoke without thinking. "Put whatever they want on my bill." The woman froze, eyes wide, pride and desperation battling on her face. "Sir, you don't have to." "I know," Adrian replied, his voice firm but not unkind. "But I want to." They sat at the table beside his. The children stared at the food when it arrived like it might disappear if they blinked too long. The boy ate fast, as if afraid someone would take it away. The girl ate slowly, carefully, breaking her bread in half and offering pieces to her mother. Adrian tried to return to his meal, but he couldn't stop watching them. He told himself it was curiosity. In truth, it was something closer to recognition. He had once been a hungry child too, long before the suits and skyscrapers, back when his mother worked double shifts and smiled through exhaustion so he wouldn't feel afraid. When they finished, the woman stood and approached him, hands trembling slightly. "Thank you," she said softly. "You gave my kids a good memory tonight. That matters more than you know." Before Adrian could respond, the little girl stepped forward. She couldn't have been more than 7. She climbed onto the empty chair across from him, her feet swinging above the floor, and placed something on his table. It was a folded piece of paper. Adrian looked down, and froze. The drawing was crude, done in pencil and faded crayon. It showed a man sitting alone at a table, a small heart drawn near his chest, cracked but glowing. Above it, in uneven letters, were the words, "You look lonely. This is for you." The noise of the cafe faded. His chest tightened until it hurt to breathe. No one had ever noticed his loneliness before, not his board, not the media, not even himself. He had built walls so high he forgot what it felt like to be seen. The girl smiled shyly. "Mom says when someone helps us, we should help back. I don't have money, but I draw." Adrian swallowed hard. For the first time in years, his eyes burned with tears he didn't fight. "It's perfect," he whispered. They left shortly after, disappearing into the rain. Adrian sat there long after his food went cold, staring at the drawing. Something inside him cracked open, and this time, it didn't hurt. It felt like relief. The next morning, he did something he'd never done before. He didn't go straight to the office. Instead, he drove to one of his company's unused buildings and ordered it renovated into a family shelter. Not as a publicity stunt. Not for press. Quietly. Purposefully. Weeks passed. One evening, while visiting the shelter, he heard laughter echo down the hallway. He turned a corner, and there they were. The same woman. The same children. Clean clothes, fuller faces, cautious hope in their eyes.